In 2013, as I was about to begin my student teaching experience, I decided that I was going to start a blog that I would update every day. And the title of that blog was, Can I Honestly Learn to Teach? Now, here we are, 12 years later, and I wanted to go back and find out, did I do it? Hi there. Sitting here with all the lights off. It is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Today was a good day. We accomplished a lot today. Um, it's kind of like a weird, light but heavy week. We didn't have a test today. We have a test tomorrow. But test days, it's like there's so much going up to them. But then when it's time to take the actual test, it's like, okay, the rest, then there's not that is like easier for me because I'm not having to teach during that. But then it's like high stress because I see the results coming in and I'm always like, so tomorrow I'm probably gonna be so down on myself, just like just reading tests. I don't know. I just like have such high hopes, and then my hopes always feel dashed with reading because I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? But we'll see. Tonight we have a Zoom scheduled to talk about the field trip, the big field trip in May, Q&A. So I'm just trying to anticipate what kinds of questions people will have, and I'm sure they'll throw something at us that we have not thought of. And I anticipate that I'll be facilitating the meeting. So I will try to, I'm just gonna, if we don't immediately know the answer, I'm just gonna write everything down so that we can find the answer. Oh, but I don't even know what to expect because this is the first time we've taken this field trip. So I don't know. Hopefully that goes well. All right, let's see what was going on 12 years ago. April. So we're a week ahead. We just did day 50 yesterday, so now it's day 51. All right. April 1st, 2013. So it was a Monday. Okay. I forgot to mention this on Friday. I can't believe it, but I am done with math. I'd put 100 more exclamation points, but we really do not have time for that. I started up with reading again today. Oh yeah, it was like a 2-week trade-off thing. And it is such a relief. That's so funny because 1 year from now, from the time that I'm typing this, when I'm teaching 4th grade and I'm departmentalized, I'm going to be like, oh, like I love teaching math and science. And then 3 years from now, when I move to North Carolina and I am in a self-contained classroom and I'm teaching all the subjects, I'm going to cry almost every day about reading and how much I hate teaching reading. And I've just recently started to love it, but it's just so funny. Like I greatly prefer math. So maybe it's the like older, younger thing. I don't know. It's just funny. It gives me plenty of opportunities to sing. I don't know why, which I like to do with kindergartners because they think I'm awesome at it. I am. I am awesome at it. Today was a great day. Oh, good. Same. I did my pirate food lesson and I think they really enjoyed it. I gave them lots of information about what pirates ate and why they ate it. Lots of crackers and bread because other food would spoil without a refrigerator. I also was so excited because one of the little boys mentioned scurvy, a discussion we had early last week, and that was a perfect segue into the discussion about oranges and why they were important to the pirates too. I had the children taste a saltine cracker, a piece of an orange, and a little bit of cheese. Pirates ate that when they could too. We then used descriptive language to talk about the food. They used the cutest words like squishy and then graphed our favorites. I know they especially liked the part where they got to eat, but I think they also liked the discussion and learning about pirate food. Did you know they sometimes ate turtles? I'm feeling good about this week so far. I know it's only been one day, but I'm optimistic. I went into the classroom today feeling happy, and I left the same way. I'm hopeful that the rest of the week will be the same way. We have our writing test on Wednesday, so that is the one thing this week that could throw a wrench into my plans. It's a school-wide test that sort of falls in line with the required 5th grade one, though instead of a 5-paragraph essay like them, we'll be writing our names and a sentence. Today, we took a step away from our pirate journals and practiced for the writing test. The biggest thing is that we are not allowed to help them at all. We can't spell things for them. We can't help them sound out words. We can't even give them reminders about what to include. I remember this and at the time being like, oh, is that so much? And now I'm like, girl, I wish we were doing like school-wide writing tests because writing is something, I mean, it gets so lost in the shuffle. I'm real like serious about it. And we do a lot of writing in fifth grade. I mean, maybe not a lot. I'm sure there are some people who probably do it more, but we do a pretty significant amount of writing. Um, and I'm not very good at it. It's just like not a skill that's getting like super developed across elementary school. And I'm sure we send them on to middle and high school and they freaking hate us because these kids are like terrible writers. So I wish there was like more accountability around it. I forgot about this, but I like the fifth grade one, I think was a state requirement. And then the school did K through 4 as well. I think that's a good idea. I don't remember what I thought at the time, but I think it's a good idea now. We are giving them all these reminders today and tomorrow. We practice writing a full sentence using appropriate capitalization, making the letters correctly, putting a river of space between each of our words, using punctuation at the end of each sentence, and sounding out each of the phonemes in a word. I wish some of my students would do some of that. They also have the word wall that they can use, but we can't help them find the word they're looking for. So that's another thing they have to practice this week. Today, Aaron did the practice with them, and tomorrow I'll do it. They did very well. We had one little boy who had a little panic attack and just started crying and staring at his blank paper. I felt horrible. Kindergartners should not be getting test anxiety. As far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't be taking tests at all. Oh, that's how I felt about it. Well, I've changed my mind. Luckily, this test is just like the normal journaling they do. Oh, my camera's mad. I saw that coming. Except they have to do it all on their own. I know that some of the children are nervous about this, but we're just trying to build up their confidence because they can all do it. They really can. I just hope we can keep them confident on Wednesday when it's time. I don't remember taking tests when I was little. The first test I ever remember doing was a writing test in about third or fourth grade. I don't remember taking full-on standardized tests until around middle school. Maybe I'm just blocking it out, but I really think that we are testing kids at exceedingly younger and younger ages. That's true. I know this has a lot to do with accountability and changes in government and state requirements, but it still blows my mind when I see it in action. And like, hot take, I don't think accountability measures, I'm pro accountability measures. I agree. Like, we should be holding people accountable to teaching what they're supposed to be teaching and making sure kids are successful. The way we went about it and the way and the loopholes and all that, I mean, it's a completely imperfect system, but I am pro accountability. When you learn about kindergartners having to take writing tests, you think that seems a little young. But when you see a kindergartner freaking out because he's so stressed over it, you really start to see, oh, wow, this is bad. And that makes, I mean, why is he so stressed? I don't know. Like, there's a balance between like, we're showing what we can do because, like, and some kids are just naturally prone to being really anxious. It's interesting how this test we're giving them is not any different from the journaling we do every day. But once we call it a test, bam, anxiety, tears, disaster. Yeah. See, it's in like the way you explain it. I don't know what's like that. I don't know how even 5-year-olds understand the stigma surrounding the word test, but they do. Maybe we need to change the words we use since it's unlikely we'll be able to change the situations. We will see how the practice tomorrow goes. I do know I write a whole thing later about standardized testing. And like, I'm always so conflicted. Like, we do put a lot of pressure on it. I don't like to see the kids panic, but also I want to hold them accountable to their learning. Like, if they're never, like, we could talk about it all day. We played games about inherited and acquired traits today, but it's easy to sort of like, like sneak through with stuff like that and not really have learned any of it. So I appreciate the accountability of a test to show me like, okay, but do they actually know it? And sometimes it's like when kids underperform on tests, you're like, oh, they show me they know how to do this. Is it like anxiety? I mean, we can address that, but for the most part, I appreciate the structure and accountability of like it's okay to take a test and show that you know how to do something. My first grader, my child, she takes spelling tests. Good. She better know how to spell. I don't know. So this topic will come back around because I know I read a whole thing about once we get to state testing. I helped proctor one. and I'm real dramatic about it. Um, okay. Good day. Oh my gosh, I got an email last night that said I made it onto the semifinals of Teacher of the Year for the district. And they said I would get my interview date and time sometime today. I don't have it yet, but it's only 3. So I guess, by close of business in 2 hours, hopefully this evening, I'll get it. When did they send that email? Yeah, they sent that at 5:20. So even after, I guess business doesn't close at close of business. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous about the interview, but I'm also nervous about like they're just gonna give me a date and a time. Like, is it gonna be in the middle of the day? Like, do I have to get a sub? That seems counterintuitive to like that I would have to miss school to go to an interview to see if I'm teacher of the year. So I'm really, really, really hoping it's in the afternoon. I know it's not gonna be on a weekend. So I'm really hoping it'll be in the afternoon one day because I don't want to miss school. Like I got stuff to do. But if I have to, I have to. I assume the time they give you is non-negotiable. Um, so we'll see. I don't know what the time frame is. Is it like it's not gonna be this week? Because that'll be crazy. It's not gonna be this week. I assume it's gonna be the week after spring break, but I don't know. We have someone here at my school, one of my coworkers was district teacher of the year, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know. What's time? No, not that long ago. Maybe 4 years ago. I don't know. But I asked her about it. She's like, oh, it's fine. Like, it's just a small panel and just they'll ask you kind of more about the stuff you put in the essay. So just like remember what you put in the essay. So I'm like, okay, I need to reread my essay and be like, what did I say? What did I say was important to me? Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Because I'm really good with writing. Speaking off the cuff is where it makes me a little nervous. But if I go in with a plan, like even if I don't know the questions they're gonna ask me, like if I know like my talking points, um, that should help. It's like a freaking job interview, and I haven't had a job interview in like 8 years because I interviewed at my old school and I taught there for 4 years, and then I taught there for 4 years. Yeah, and then I didn't have to interview because I just came with the principal and he just invited me to come with him to the new school. I haven't interviewed in a really long time, but I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine. And I guess if you want to be teacher of the year, like you have to be able to present yourself and like speak. So, la, la. But I just really want to know when the interview is so I can lock in, as the kids would say. Okay, gotta get some stuff done before I go home and do that soon. Today is Wednesday, March 26th, 2025. It was a good day. We took our reading test. I was prepared since yesterday. So much has happened since I filmed yesterday. Oh my gosh. I was prepared yesterday and I was like, oh, it's going to break my heart. My ones that I was like, ah, they all did better than I was expecting. There was one heartbreak. I'm like, oh, he just had so much test anxiety, so hard on himself. Um, but I was really pleased. But they all worked hard. That's the thing, is nobody really like phoned it in. And that's what I'm at. Like I can appreciate that. That's what I'm looking for. Yesterday, I was like, oh, I bet my teacher of the year interview will be the week after spring break because certainly they wouldn't schedule it the week of, at such short notice. False, false. It's tomorrow at 2 p.m. and I have to go down to central office, which is half hour away. So I have to leave here at like 1:15 because I'm not trying to be late. We're supposed to be freaking dissecting frogs until 1:30, so I'm gonna have to like move up my dissection. I'm so annoyed. It's so rude to schedule a non-negotiable like interview in the middle of the school day to like less than 48 hours in advance. I'm teaching. You know this. In fact, you think I might be the best teacher in the district. The best teacher in the district, mayhaps, should not get pulled from teaching her job. I'm so frustrated, but I'm like, and because I'm so mad, I'm like not even, it's making me want to prepare less, but I still need to like prepare and I don't know what they're going to ask me. And so I'm like so nervous, but I'm also mad. Anyway, so that happened. And then last night we had our Zoom for field trip information. And I felt like we did a pretty good job, like laying it all out. I wanted to, I thought through a lot of, anticipated a lot of questions ahead of time. We got some curveballs. These people asking or trying to assume answers to questions without like, I don't know. I thought we did a pretty good job, but then we got some reach out from parents who said like, well, after the meeting last night, now they're more concerned about the logistics. This is like honestly crazy. But next Friday during spring break, Carowinds is having a meteorology day, like a field trip day. Um, and I almost want to go, which is crazy, but I almost want to go by myself. I've never been to Carowinds. I almost want to go like scope it out and get a feel for like, okay, on a Friday, in the springtime, like how long are the lines? What's the food situation? I'm like, that's a little crazy. The tickets are only like $40. So it's not like Disney World or anything. It's not really expensive. It's a drive. But I'm not gonna do it. I just had the idea earlier and I was like, I mean, why couldn't I? There's no reason I couldn't. So I need to ask my husband to either talk me down or gas me up on that one. But anyway, I also have a sit meeting at 3. And as usual, I don't want to do it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't really have like a ton on the agenda today, so it might be short. I'm hoping. I don't know. I just feel like a little bit of like senioritis. But, and I also just have so many other things on my to-do list that I'm kind of hoping it ends a little early so that I can um, get some other stuff done before I have to leave. Okay, so anyway, that's those are all the things that have happened. But today was a good day. It was a lot of like taking the reading test. But that went well. So I'm like, I can't complain. I feel good. We have math tomorrow. That'll be the kicker. And let's see what was going on 12 years ago. So it was day 52. Oh my gosh, this is a long one. Okay. A lot to say this Tuesday. I am feeling much more motivated this week. It's so weird how it switches off and then right back on again. I think last week I was just worried that the kids wouldn't like my pirate activities or that they wouldn't work out or that they would overwhelm me. But now that I'm 7 days finished with my unit, I'm seeing that they're really enjoying it and it's overall successful. This is such a relief. My whole student teaching experience so far has been building up to these 2 weeks, and I really needed them to go right. While last week wasn't so hot, this week is making up for it. I'm having a good time. My favorite part about teaching this unit is seeing the children's learning extend beyond what I am doing and finding its way into other aspects of their school day. I watch children make pirate maps and pirate ships during free choice center time when they could be doing literally anything in the classroom, but they choose to do pirate stuff. I hear them playing pirates on the playground during recess, and there's lots of ahoy matey and arr coming from the jungle gym. It makes me smile to see them to be so excited about what we're learning and to bring it into their own personal play. I only have a few more lessons, so I want to keep this excitement alive over the next 3 days. It's so validating to watch them take what we teach and bring it into reality on their own. That's really the goal of it all, isn't it? It is for me, and it almost makes me want to cry seeing it actually happening. Fifth grade is like less that, but still that. Like whenever they come to me and they've like seen something in a book or like talked about something and it's relating to something, like text to self, learning to real life connections, it does make me feel like, oh, they listen, they retain. The other exciting part today happened. We were singing my Five Oceans song. I don't think I've shared what this is yet, so I'll do that now. I have a map of the world on the smartboard, and we sing a song with hand motions to help them remember where all of the oceans are on the map. It's to the tune of Frere Jacques. I remember this. Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Atlantic too. Good for you. Up for Arctic Ocean, down for Southern Ocean. Swim, 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 swim. I made it up. It's pretty good, right? I taught them this song last Wednesday morning, and I was a little concerned that they would not remember the names of the oceans, or that it would just be meaningless to them, or just that it would be a bust. I was wrong, though. They caught on to the song right away. I remember my first version of this was like 5 verses. It was out of control. And no one told me. Like, I read it. Like, I wrote it. I was so excited. Then I read it, and I was like, girl, They're 5. I started the first couple of days having them listen to me sing each line and then repeating it. Then on Friday, we did it together. This week, I had them sing it with me and do the motions, and then I pointed to each ocean afterward and had them name it. I thought it would be hard for them to remember the words Pacific, Atlantic, etc., because they don't really mean anything to them beyond this song. However, they really do know them. It's exciting once again to see something you've planned work. My final thought today concerns the wonderful, wonderful world of getting free stuff. I heard of others going into places and getting things for free by telling the employees that they are a teacher. Yes, yes, I've done that. But for the first time today, it happened to me. It's just so amazing how kind people are and how they are so willing to just give you things, things that they take inventory on, that their company pays for, without charging you anything or even giving it a second thought. With the amount of their own personal money that teachers pay for things in their classroom or for their lessons, I know I'm not even a classroom teacher yet, and I still buy a ton of stuff every year. Every little bit helps. It makes me happy to see the kindness in others and the willingness to help out a little bitty teacher in need. I think I remember this. I needed really thick straws, like really with a wide diameter. And so I went to a Panera Bread because they had smoothie straws, which were like thick. And I think I asked the guy behind the counter, I was like, hey, I need like however many straws. Like, is there a way to buy just the straws? He was like, here you go. Looking back, he was like, not my money. But it was sweet. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. My supervisor is coming. I'm excited to show her what we've been doing in the world of kindergarten over the last 2 weeks. It rained a lot today, and that kind of made today seem a little gloomy and sleepy, so I hope tomorrow the weather is a little nicer. I'm not keeping my fingers crossed because the weather has been so ridiculous lately. The rain hitting the window and the overcast sky had about 20 of our kids taking full-on snoring naps today, which was beautiful. But I'd much rather have nicer weather and a rowdier nap time. As long as this all clears up by Thursday, I'll be a happy camper. I'm looking forward to lunch at the park after the concert, and I don't want to get rained out. All right. Oh, I have so much to do. Frog dissection tomorrow. I've not even like put my brain to it. I just know I'm gonna like muscle memory my way through it. I know what to do. I've got the frogs. I've got the stuff. I got the tablecloths. And we're just gonna make it happen. It's gonna be great. Okay. I gotta get ready for this sit meeting. I got 12 minutes. We have to have it in my classroom because the book fair is downstairs. My classroom's kind of a mess, but I'm probably not gonna clean it. When I vlog tomorrow, I'll be able to talk about how my interview went. Okay. It's gonna be good. 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 Today is Thursday, March 27th. I just got back from my Teacher of the Year semifinalist interview. My heart tells me that this is the end of the road for me on that. Like I'm a better writer than I am speaking extemporaneously. I I answered their questions. I don't feel like I'm what they're looking for. I think they want somebody who can just wax poetic and just has the right things like ready to go. I felt like I was answering their questions, but I was stumbling through what I wanted to say. I had things I wanted to make sure I said, and I said most of them, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be a finalist. And I think that's okay. And that's okay. I, I'm just a month ago, I didn't think I was going to be the school's teacher of the year. So I've already made it 2 steps farther than I thought I would. And I mean, what I presented was me. I, they got me. And I talked a lot about things that are important to me and structure and rigor and safety and that might not be what they're looking for, So what's meant for me is meant for me. And I did it and I might never do it again. I might never get to try again, but I don't, there I'm not full of regret. There's a couple of things that I'd wish that I'd mentioned, but I I put myself out there, right? This is what I'm about. I'm a like down to business. Let's go. And if you want me to give a big speech, if you don't let me prepare, might be a little rambly. And probably the teacher of the year needs to be able to give, speak off the cuff. So maybe it's not meant for me, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, yeah, it was a really good day today. The math test, I was heated for a couple of kids because they were just like making mistakes and not showing their work. And that's super frustrating. Because there's not really a lot I can do about that. But I fear that someone is about to open my door. I see the assistant principal walking. He's giving someone a tour. Okay, maybe. Maybe it's not meant for me. All right. Let's see what's going on 12 years ago. I did mention my blog in my interview, just that, I did it, and going back and rereading it is allowing me to like remember what it's like to be a beginning teacher. Because one of the questions, like, what advice would you give a beginning teacher? Like, how do you mentor and help beginning teachers? Things like that. I said, well, I feel really connected to the memories of what it's like to be a beginning teacher because I wrote it all down and can go back and reread it. All right, let's see. So it's Wednesday, April 3rd. I do not like how off the dates have been, but after next week's my spring break, it should all like catch back up. Like, how's it already April 3rd? What to discuss today? What to discuss today? There's so much running through my mind right now. Today wasn't even that eventful of a day, but I still feel like I could write a novel about what I'm thinking right now. Maybe it's because the semester is winding down and I have so much to talk about and only 17 days to do it. 17 days? Really? Oh my gosh. I think today, though, I'll talk about technology. Oh, I have opinions. Let's see what my opinions were 12 years ago. Girl, you didn't even know what was coming. AI. Never heard of her. The amount of technology used in daily life today is incredible in and of itself, but the degree to which we use it in the classroom is what really blows my mind. In all of my student teaching field sites, block 2, 3, and now 4, I've been in a classroom with a smartboard. My teachers relied on it, especially last semester and this one, and used it for everything. Right now, I use it for opening, math, and reading most days. I plan half of my lessons using that thing. So when it's not available to me, like today, more on that later, it's a little bit of a scramble to make do. I know in my gut that it shouldn't be like that. If I can't use a smartboard, I should be able to do the same lessons, but from a practical standpoint, I just don't see how. I asked Erin how she did the things we do during our opening without a smartboard, and she basically said, we didn't. The same things were taught essentially, but they were done in completely different ways. Now I can have the kids come up, roll random number dice, write addition number sentences on the board, read them aloud, and erase the problem all within a matter of 30 seconds. It's just harder to do that on a whiteboard and even harder to do it on a chalkboard or chart paper where you can't really erase things at all. I'm thankful that I have it. I like it. And I think that I'm using it appropriately. Just on days like today, I wish I had a better backup plan. I wish that we all did. In my classroom, there's nowhere to write besides the smartboard. There's no chalkboard, no whiteboard, no nothing. Thank you. I hate this TV, and I'm glad I felt that way so many years ago. I want my whiteboard back. I miss just having a projector that projected onto the whiteboard because then when you turn the projector off, you just have this huge space of whiteboard. I have this freaking television. I think I've already ranted about this before, but this giant television hanging off the wall, taking up all this space, sticking out, blocking views. And yeah, like it can be a digital whiteboard, but if the power goes out, it's nothing. It's just this giant TV in the way. So yes, same. On most days, I don't even notice this because I don't need anything but the smartboard, but Dan noticed. Storytime break. Right in the smack dab middle of my pirate lesson today. And of course, this was the one I was being observed on. I remember this. The smartboard just turned itself off. My immediate thought was, oh shoot, the bulb went out. No, that's not true. My immediate thought was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But that one only lasted for a half second. I tried to turn it back on using the remote, but it quickly became clear it was not coming back on. So I switched the lesson to a read aloud. I had a good pirate book ready, and we finished up our discussion and lesson without losing too much teaching time or getting sidetracked. I think I handled it pretty well since the kids didn't lose their minds and stayed pretty tuned into the story. It turns out we discovered later that something had gone wrong in another room with the electricity, and so the custodian flipped the breaker for that room to try and fix it, except he hit the wrong one and got my room instead. It really would not have mattered at all except for that one 30-minute block. Of course, my life. He came in and messed around with it later, but we still couldn't get it to come back up. It didn't really matter at that point. We told him not to worry about it. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I don't even really need it tomorrow anyway. I wasn't too shaken up by it at all, surprisingly. Usually the perfectionist in me would have panicked, but I honestly did not feel rattled except for that first half second. It's good. I mean, like, I do the same thing when I talk about the power going out. I think that's happened to me like 4 times over the last 4 years. And when the power goes out, I mean, I do immediately pivot. I'm like, okay, lights are off, board doesn't work. It's fine. Here's what we're gonna do. Right? There's like no skirt. It's just, here we go. This is what we're doing. Onward and upward. This brings me to my point for the day. Technology is good. Technology is great, but technology can come back to bite you if you rely on it too much. I think today's little lesson helped me to remember that you always have to have a backup plan. My backup plan was to read a story, which worked, but I wish I would have had a backup plan that was more similar to the original plan. Plan B should kind of follow along with plan A if possible. However, I did what I could with what I had. I think today also gave me a lesson in flexibility. The lesson was this: I'm pretty good at being flexible. Yes, you are. I surprised myself with how calm I was as everything was turning disastrous right in front of the person I was trying to impress. I think that one of the most important things I've learned over the last few years, both in my field sites and at work, is that you just have to calm it down and keep it going. That's right. Always, always do these two things. If you keep calm and carry on, cliche, but whatever, you will be okay and your kids will be none the wiser. For all my kids now, I meant for the board to turn off because I just couldn't wait to read the super awesome pirate story. Just so we're clear, I did not mean for the board to turn off. It was not pleasing. All right. Well, science night is tonight. So it's 3:40 and science night doesn't start till 6. So I have like 2.5 hours to kill. I got my pile of stuff to grade that I've kind of been putting off, and I could save it for spring break, but what else am I doing? Might as well just do it now because it's not like I got lesson plans or anything to get ready for next week. Frog dissection today went really good. That's one thing I wish I'd mentioned at the Teacher of the Year interview. I mean, it literally, like, it doesn't matter. Like, dissect, I don't know if it would have made the difference, but I meant to say, like, oh, yeah, I literally just left my school and we dissected frogs, and then I have to go right back for science night. But I forgot. That's okay. I, yeah, I'm just gonna make myself grade all this stuff and be cranky about it. But tomorrow, me will thank today me for doing this. And I always like to do things that tomorrow Megan will thank me for. So these next 2 hours are for you tomorrow, Megan. You better appreciate it. Whew. Hello. Today is Friday, March 28th, and it's spring break. I would say overall today was a fine day. It was kind of a nothing day. I did get to meet with two book club groups. I did teach a math lesson. I did do Science Olympiad. There were moments in the day where if you had asked me, I would have said this was a horrible day. I don't need to get into them. At the end of recess, I thought about recording this before Science Olympiad because I do that sometimes. But at the end of recess, I was literally screamed at into my face, this close into my face by a fifth grade boy. And so I was not feel like if I'd recorded right after recess, I would have been heated. For the record, I did not scream back at him. I said, name of student, I'm not going to engage with you when you're screaming in my face like this. Made him matter, but I was like, I'm ignoring this. I cannot like talk to you right now. He was upset with me because some kids were playing a game and he went up and kicked the ball away from them, just like for no, like, he wasn't trying to play. Like, he was just trying to upset them, and it worked. And so I told him that he needed to move away from the kids that were playing the game. He yelled at me. I said, oh, not doing it. Not doing it today. Yeah. Then during Science Olympiad. Science Olympiad went well today. But I was like coming into my room. We have some kids in the hall and some kids in here. I was coming out. One of my students, he's taller than me, my biggest student. He was doing that thing where you jump up and you smack the door frame. And I just happened to be turning the corner. Anyway, he just absolutely demolished, elbowed me right in the head. It is swollen. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a goose egg right here, right by the eye. And then when he came down, he landed on my foot too. He was very apologetic. He was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No." Like, I was like tearing up. It hurt a lot. I did not cry. I said, "No, but I will be. Just like give me a second." And then he was very like he kept it, he was no more like jumping around. But I was like, of course, of course. It was okay. I just spent the last like 25 minutes just really like cleaning up the room. It looks good. I feel good. We're coming in on Monday and Tuesday to do more Science Olympiad stuff, but I feel like it's going to be I don't feel like it's going to feel chaotic because it's not going to be at the end of a long day. The only kids coming are kids who like want to, are like really motivated to work on things. And I just realized I left a bunch of stuff in the hallway as I'm like saying this. I did not clean up everything. There's stuff in the hallway, so I gotta remember to go get that. But my daughter has a softball game in an hour, so I need to do this quickly. But I feel no pressure. Like, I don't need to worry about printing stuff for next week. Sometimes I try and do that on Fridays. I don't need to come in this weekend. Like, I have all next week. Next week belongs to me. It's my week. And just like 12 years ago, in 2 weeks, I might be saying, oh, that's spring break. Like, oh, the kids, we needed longer, whatever. It messed up the flow. I don't care. I don't care. Next week is my week. I'm going to clean. I'm going to clean my car. I'm going to get an oil change. I'm going to have someone come clean out the dryer vent. I'm going to work on national boards. This all sounds so like dorky. I think some of my coworkers are literally on planes right now, but next week is mine. And what I want to do is catch up on all the podcasts that I've been putting off. I have like 24 hours of podcasts downloaded. And just like, maybe I'll go to a movie. Who knows? It's my week. So let's see what was going on 12 years ago. And one other nice thing about after spring break is the dates will not be all messed up anymore because I'll have taken the week off and we'll be all caught up. But 12 years ago or whatever, the blog day 53, it was April 3rd. And today is March 28th, but this is the last time it'll be all messed up. Wednesday, no. I already did this one. Today's April. I'm talking about April 4th. April 4th. Graduation is 1 month from today. 1 month. Oh, May 4th. I remember looking forward to that because I graduated on Star Wars Day. I didn't actually walk, but that was like the day I matriculated was Star Wars Day. Here, this year, in the present, on May 4th, I will still have 5 weeks of school left. So gone are the days when May was like, you did it, you made it to May. I'm like, babe, I gotta make it to Memorial Day and then 2 weeks more. So, But anyway, it's so crazy to be this close to finishing my undergraduate degree. After tomorrow, I only have 3 weeks of student teaching left and 1 week of class, and that's it forever. Oh, I forgot that we went back to class for a week. I wonder if I don't think I blogged. I think I stopped when I finished student teaching, but I guess we'll find out. Of course, for me, it won't be forever. I actually feel like I'm going to be in school forever, but at least this piece will be done forever. And that's exciting. I'm not even walking. I'm not even having a party or anything, but it doesn't matter. I don't need a graduation gown or presents to feel good about what I've accomplished over these last 4 years. I feel good just because it feels good. Today, I thought I'd discuss field trips. I took a field trip this week too. We took one today. I am so thankful we had the opportunity to see Stephen fight in concert, and he was amazing. I want to buy all of his CDs for my future classroom. I literally could not, for $1 billion, I could not have told you this man's name. I remember the pirate show. Obviously never bought his CDs for my classroom. His songs are fun and packed full of learning. He follows Common Core standards and puts activity suggestions in all his CD booklets and on his website. And he's just a really charismatic and fun person to watch on stage. I didn't want the concert to end today. It was only an hour long, and I probably could have sat there for another hour. I was dancing with the kids, and we were all just having fun. It was the perfect ending to my pirate unit. I know that I just got kind of lucky in that my big culminating activity was already kind of planned for me, thanks CPS. That is Cushing Public Schools, not Child Protective Services. And I could spend my unit building up to something that I knew was going to be fantastic. I know other people did big video projects and presentations, which I did with my second graders last semester, so I've done it before. I don't remember. I did? I don't remember that at all. But I just got to go to a concert and have fun with my kids and then have a nice class meeting at the end of the day to recap what we did and how it tied into what we've been learning for the past 2 weeks. I loved it. It was perfect. The only hard part was that our picnic was rained out. But we had a little picnic in our classroom instead, and the kids thought it was just so cool that we got to eat at our seats. Like we don't do that literally every day at snack time. I guess a Lunchable is more fun. Today was very relaxed. I got in all of the teaching I intended to, which was good for me. I can be flexible and make changes to my plans, but I really don't like to if I can avoid it. Same. I was very pleased with how today went. It was also so great to see so many parents and aunts and grandmas come to watch the show today. No grandpas, but a whole lot of grandmas. Okay, whatever. The children's faces just light up when they're around their families. They want to show off their families to their friends and their friends to their families. They get so excited and so animated. I just love to watch it. I just love these kids. I'm getting to the point where I'm sad thinking about leaving them in a few weeks. It's so strange how last week was probably the worst week of my experience so far, and I couldn't wait to just get away from them. Sounds harsh, but the whole point of this blog is honesty, right? And now here I am a week later, and all I want to do is hug them forever and never leave and love them, love them, love them. Today, I also feel it is appropriate to discuss mental health. Ooh, a mental health queen. What am I saying? Being a teacher is exhausting. How can one person feel so many things in such a short amount of time, or even occasionally at the same time? How can we love them so much and yet still cringe at the sound of their little voices from across the room screaming, "I'm telling the teacher"? I hate saying that sometimes. They make me so frustrated. I just want to go hide, but they do. I think that's just part of learning to teach. You love them, but sometimes that love isn't enough to override the frustrations they bring with them. I think it's normal. I feel bad, but then I calm down and look at their sweet little faces, and I always feel better. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think everyone has those days, those moments when we ask ourselves, why am I doing this? And then we have the rest of the moments there to remind us exactly why. They're just amazing little things, those kids. I don't feel like I have anything to add to that. Same. I love them and they drive me crazy. And I think that is teaching. Woo, hello. It is Monday, April 7th. It has been a minute. Spring break was good. Spring break was really good. It was really warm outside. They turned on the AC and then a bunch of stuff fell off the wall. So when I came back, I had to like my letters that spell out teach, or actually the T is not like sliding down. So I just have them up with glue dots. So they like if there's like temperature fluctuation, sometimes the glue will slide. Oh yeah, she's sliding right back down. I'll worry about that later. And all of a sudden my doorbell doesn't work. It definitely worked over spring break, or it was like working the first part of spring break because I came in and I did um Science Olympiad. We unplugged the doorbell to plug in a hot glue gun to build a pasta tower, and now the doorbell doesn't work. So I don't know what that's about, but spring break was good. I came into school several times, but on my terms, I would come in the morning to work on Science Olympiad stuff, and then I printed some things, got some stuff ready for the fourth quarter. We only have about 50 days of school left. It's probably less. No, it's got to be less than that because we have 9.5 weeks, which on its own would be 47 days. But then we still have Good Friday, Easter Monday, and Memorial Day. So 44. I think those are the only holidays we have left. There's an early release in there somewhere. So yeah, at like 44-ish days left. I think they're gonna go quickly. Um, yeah, jumped into like new stuff today. I'm just realizing I see something else that's falling off the wall. Jumped into some new stuff, research projects, feeling good. Um, I was worried yesterday. I was like dreading coming back today. But today went really well. So I don't know. I had three kids who were sleeping like literally all morning. Like I kept in like waking them up individually, and then I was like, I cannot fight this battle anymore. So I just let them sleep. And after lunch, they were all more awake. But I'm like, I'm sure they, like me, were staying up really late, all spring break. Like their what internal clocks or whatever got thrown off, and then they just like it's harder for them. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, I was used to staying up till midnight and I did stay up a little too late last night, but like I'm grown up, so I was like, you can't fall asleep. But they're 10, so they conked out. But I'm hoping tomorrow everybody gets back on like their good sleep schedule and we can not sleep through math and science. All right. 12 years ago, I haven't heard anything about Teacher of the Year, so I think they've probably picked the top five. Um, I probably like am one of the seven that didn't move on to the next round because I imagine by now they're probably like in the works with like the top five because they need to go like observe them in class and like do a bunch of stuff. So I'm imagining like the seven of us who didn't get picked, they'll probably after they have like done all the stuff with the top five, then they'll like tell the seven of us that we didn't make it because that's what they did. Like it wasn't until after the top 12 had done our interviews that then the other however many were told like that they weren't semifinalists. So I'm just waiting to get an email that's like, "Oh, we've chosen our five finalists, like thank you everybody else or whatever." Um because that's kind of what happened to me when I was up for district beginning teacher of the year about like 7 or so years ago. No, was I pregnant? I wasn't pregnant, so it must have been 8 years ago. Um, it was like I even made the top three, and then they literally I never even got a courtesy email that was like, you didn't win. They just like announced the winner. I saw in my email, like, I don't remember who it was, but so and so is our beginning teacher of the year. I was like, yeah, I guess it's not me then. So I've no like strong feeling that I'm going to be getting any sort of like gentle letdown email. It'll probably just be like, you're supposed to piece together that you haven't moved on. But 12 years ago, I had way fewer than 44 days left. I was getting really close to being done with my student teaching. So let's see what was going on. I should be I should be close to the right date. To be honest, I have no idea what day I'm on. Let's see. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I read this one already. Yes, I read this one. Okay, so we must be on day 55. Yes. Okay. Friday, April 5th. Okay. I think, yes, this is right because then tomorrow will be April 8th and we'll be back on track. Okay. Ooh, this has been weird. All right, here we go. Day 55, April 5th, 2013. Well, it's done. It's over. My unit is finished. I'm so relieved and still a little bit in disbelief. When it was almost time to go home on Friday, Aaron said, "So, how does it feel to be finished?" And I had to stop for a second before I realized that I really was done. I've got 3 more weeks of teaching. 3. Oh my gosh. And I am teaching different things for all of it, but there's still such a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Next week, half of what I have been teaching all semester goes back to Aaron. The control goes back. It's going to be weird, but it's also going to be relieving. I am just at a loss for what to say tonight. My day was so filled with craziness for reasons other than student teaching, and I'm just exhausted. I went to the Human Sciences Award banquet and got my award for Seniors of Distinction. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was fun. It was so wonderful to be up there with the dean and my picture on the projector and everyone listening to the host read a little biography of my time at OSU. I'm still a little overwhelmed that I've got this award, and I really am graduating in less than a month. And it's all going to be over. I don't know. I feel like I'm babbling tonight. I've got a lot going on here. Same. One thing I do know about today is I was so excited to give my kids their post assessments. We've been singing this ocean song every day for 2 weeks, and I told them that if they wanted to sing the song quietly to themselves while we did the tests, they could. And some of them did. It was so adorable. I think it's so funny. Like, this was my, like, is knowing where the oceans are even something that you're supposed to do in kindergarten? I feel like I just totally, like, made this up. Like, what is this? They should have been like writing or something. Whatever. I didn't give them the oceans in the same order as the song because I thought that might be cheating, since maybe they just memorized the order we did them in. Well, they still did it. 15 of them got all 5 oceans in the right place on the map. I was so excited. How many kids are there? Are there like 26 kids? When we did it for the pre-assessment, most of them got 0 right, and the best any of them did was 2 out of 5. This time, the worst any of them did was 2 out of 5, and that was only 2 of the kids. I'm ecstatic. Okay, good for me, I guess. None of this sounds real, but that's fine. I was smiling crazily while I was giving them the test and seeing how well they did. I do know that feeling of like when you're watching them do an assessment and you're like, oh my God, they're freaking getting it. It's just so great to see something you've taught work. It worked. I did it. Today was amazing at school. Today was just the worst at work. Wonder what happened at work. This semester, I wasn't teaching, I was doing book club, but then other than that, I was just kind of coming in and like, I was covering stuff. I was reading people's lesson plans. I don't know. I wonder what happened. I guess that balances out to a pretty normal day for me. I did get a really cool present for being senior of significance, though. A paperweight with my name engraved on it. I, where is that? I have that. Where is that? I think it's here at school. I've seen it recently. Maybe it's on a bookshelf at home. I still have that. I forgot what that was from. And a really cool clock with senior of significance engraved on it. I still have that too. I think that's packed away in my attic, but I know I still have that. Yeah, I forgot where I got those. I mean, I guess it says senior of significance, but I don't know. My paperweight, I think, just says Megan Lewis. It's like a cylinder. Yeah, I think it's at home. Well, hold on. I want to see if it's here. Hello. Okay, obviously it doesn't say Megan Lewis because first of all, that wasn't even my name at the time. It just says Megan. But I knew, I was like, wait, don't I see this every single day of my life? Yeah, I have it up in the cabinet where I hide my Sharpies and my good scissors and my good stapler. Yeah, so that's what this is from. I couldn't remember. I was like, I knew I got it in college, but I couldn't remember why. Senior of or senior of distinction, whatever it's called. All right. Anyway, I'm all over the place today too. Okay, senior of significant. Didn't I call it senior of distinction? I wonder if maybe it's the same thing. I'm not sure how I feel about today. I suppose that since this blog is dedicated more to my student teaching experience than anything else, I'm going to call this day a win. A very nice end to a very nice week. Aw, good for me. And I am just starting my week, but I'm hoping that today was a good beginning to a good week, because I would definitely say today was a good day. We're talking about space, and math is rough, and we're giving a math test on Wednesday, and I just made the key, and as I was making the key I was like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. This is probably like one of the hardest things we do in math. So I feel like on Wednesday I'll be coming on and being like, yeah, today wasn't that good, because I feel like I'm gonna have that feeling where you walk around when they're taking a test and you're like, oh crap. But we still have tomorrow. I still have tomorrow. I'm gonna use tomorrow to try and review and like shore up some things. I know they can do these things. They just get, when there's like multi-steps, they get real like in their heads sometimes. I know they can do it. But yeah, and then tomorrow we're working on cursive, so that's fun too. I was like, by the end of the year, you're gonna be able to write a paragraph in cursive. One of them was like, why do we need to know cursive? I don't know, it's good. Like some people are able to write really fast. Like it might improve some of their handwriting if they learn to write in cursive. They can write quickly and like more neatly. Because their handwriting is like, my goodness, y'all, are you serious? All right, I'm gonna put this back. and get out of here because my daughter was supposed to have a softball game tonight and then it freaking poured all day. So it's canceled, which is like on one hand, I'm like, relieved, like, okay, I don't have to drive to a softball game tonight. But I am disappointed because I love watching her play softball, but can't control the weather. So I'll just take it as a gift. All right, see you tomorrow. Hello. I just realized the other day that I start most of my videos in this position with my hand on my face. And I'm like resting. But today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I would say today was a pretty good day. I was in a crummy mood this morning because yesterday we did our taxes and we owe a bunch of money. So that was obnoxious. Like, since when? So I don't know what we did wrong. We didn't do anything differently, but so I was like annoyed. And then this morning I got the email that I did not make it to the finalist of Teacher of the Year, which I'm like, I knew. And I found out it's only a top three. I thought it was a top five this whole time, but it's only a top three. So if I'd known that, I would have been even like more sure. Like, there's no way I was in the top three of those interviews. But I figured, like, I just felt that, like, I did well, but not good enough. But I was really annoyed because all three of the finalists are high school teachers. And I just think that's kind of obnoxious. I feel like if we're all going to be judged together, I don't know, like, yes, maybe those three were the best three, but I don't know. There's just, I wish we could do it separately because, like, being an elementary teacher is so different than being a middle school teacher is so different than being a high school teacher. But an elementary teacher hasn't won in years, years. It's been dominated by high school for the last many years. So I was kind of hoping, if not me, an elementary person could pull it out. But they finally sent, they didn't BCC so that I could see the other 11 people. And I was just like clicking through on my Outlook to see like where did each of them work. And there were only three elementary people total out of the 12. And then none of the three of us made it on to the next step. So I'm like, okay. And one of the people works at a high school that the last year's teacher of the year and the year before that teacher of the year are all from that high school. So I'm like, if that person wins this year, that's 3 years in a row from the same school. Like, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm like bummed. I'm not because I thought I was gonna be a finalist because I think I said on the day of the interview, like, yeah, this is it for me. But to just like have it confirmed and to like see that not a single elementary teacher is a finalist, that kind of like really annoyed me. But teaching today, the kids was good. They were doing really well in math, so I'm very hopeful for the quiz tomorrow. I need to print those before I leave today. But yeah, so I would say, like, if I had to say good day, bad day, I would say today was a good day overall. Let's see what was going on 12 years ago. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. Okay. Okay, updated. We're on day 56, I believe. Yes, April 8th. We're back on track. You love to see it. All right. Today was a great day. Yay. Okay, it's a Monday. It was so bizarre to sit back and watch opening rather than lead it, considering I've been leading it for, 11 weeks now. It's really interesting to see how Erin does it and compare it to how I did it. I watched her do it for the first week of school, and then I started doing it during week 2 and haven't stopped until now, week 13. I was only just beginning to understand what the heck I was doing and kind of figured out what worked on my own over the last 3 months. Now I get to watch Erin do it again, a seasoned expert, and I see the little things she does that I would add if I were to do it again. That is one of the best things is to, like when you're student teaching, you're observing, but you know nothing. I think it's so profound to teach, like do something yourself, teach for at least a year. Well, here I did it for only 11 weeks, but like, you teach for a while and then have the opportunity to observe someone else with the context, like, because I could observe someone teaching a unit I've never taught before, and I could see like, okay, I see how they're doing it. But to teach it myself, make all the mistakes or, like do it fine, do it the best I can, and then observe somebody else, and then go back and try it again myself is the best. That's why I love my journey because, I was a teacher. Then I stopped and I was a coach where like obviously I was supposed to be, have some level of expertise, which I did, and these skills. But through observing and working with a bunch of teachers, I was able to be like, oh, I love how they do that. I love how they do that. And then when I went back into the classroom, like soak it all in and incorporate it myself and just like build these habits. So much of teaching is building habits so that you can, do all these little things efficiently and just like habitually that you don't even have to think about them. You internalize them. And then I'm sure that's what Erin was doing. Like she had internalized all of these things that she was doing without like really thinking or planning. But I was like, whoa, that's such a good idea. I feel like it would have been beneficial to, I guess I haven't changed much. Look, I'm about to say what I just said in one sentence, but it took me like 15 sentences to say just now. I see the little things she does that I would have added if I were to do it again. I feel like it would have been beneficial for her to do it at like week 7 or 8, and then for me to do it again and add in all of these little things that she does so naturally that I never even thought of. I guess it just comes with time. If I end up in a kindergarten classroom one day, didn't, I'll be able to make these changes then and see how it works for me. I still have reading and rotations this week, so I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. I can tell Erin is so excited to have some control back, though. She is such a great teacher, and she really shines when she's at the front of the class. I think she got bored having to sit at her desk all day while I took over. The thing I've been thinking a lot is how important it is for parents to tell teachers when things happen in a child's life outside of school. This stems more from work than school, but it applies to both. I wonder what was going on at work. I mentioned it on Friday and now again on Monday. It can be very hard to explain a child's behavior when you're in the dark as to what happened to them yesterday or over the last week or even this morning right before school. It also can be extremely easy to explain a child's behavior when you know what's going on and can piece together how something at home can cause them to act out at school. And this goes the other way too. So I really appreciate, and I know as a parent, it is a lot to ask. Like in the mornings, I am fighting for my life to get these girls dressed and in the car and to school and get myself to school on time so I can open my classroom before, the kids start coming in. I know. But I do really appreciate like sometimes I'll get a message that, a kid, like something happened this morning or like something happened over the weekend or so a parent will just be giving me a heads up like, oh, they're like I think like one kid, like his lips were really chapped and he was self-conscious about it. And so his dad like sent me a text, like, just so you know, like he's self-conscious about his chapped lips right now. We sent him a chapstick, but like, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I really appreciate that kind of stuff because it does explain so much about like why kids are acting the way they are, or like, oh, just so you know, like our air conditioner was out this weekend, so we didn't get this happened as well. Our air conditioner was out, so we haven't been sleeping well. So if she's tired, like that's why, because it's been kind of hard to sleep because it's been so warm in the house, but we're getting it fixed today. Love it. And I try and do the same, like when the trade-off, if something happens in the morning, and then I'll try and trade off at the end of the day because we have recess at the end of the day. So if something happens right towards the end of the day, I'll try and shoot a message to a parent, like, just so you know, when they come off the bus, like they might be feeling, frustrated because like right at the end of the day, this happened. And like, here's what I did or what I'm gonna do tomorrow, like so they know. I know, because I imagine sometimes things happen at recess. Kids be coming off the bus or into the carpool line, they're steaming. And I like to get ahead of it and be like, hey, like I know what happened. I have a plan, and just so you know, like, wait, so we're all on the same page. But I like to try and make it go both ways, but it's so much to manage. I know it is. So like when something has happened and I find out from the kid and not the parent, it's fine. It's fine. But I do appreciate when I know, like when I get a little heads up. I know that parents may make connections between occurrences and behavior problems, or maybe they don't, who knows? But if they aren't shared with the teacher, then we just have to guess. And sometimes it's impossible to guess what's going wrong. Sometimes children will tell you, and sometimes they won't, or don't know how. There are some parents of the children in my class that text Erin whenever things happen that may affect the child's behavior at school. And Erin always shares this with me too. It's so important because if there's strange behavior happening, we can kind of pinpoint the source and either help the child to work through it or at the very least know what we're dealing with. Sometimes nothing out of the ordinary happens, and that's just fine. But it's so important that teachers are informed. Some parents may not realize this, and some may not want to risk oversharing personal family matters. And some are freaking too busy. Oh my gosh, like I just said, like I yeah, fighting for my life in the morning sometimes, especially when my husband's out of town, like it was this morning. Oh my God, we barely made it. But it is important for the teachers and especially for the children. Okay. I hope that if I'm a classroom teacher, what do you mean if? It's April, come on. The parents and families of my students feel comfortable enough to tell me things like this. Okay, well, check. I cannot stress how important it is. Okay, God, oh my God, get over yourself. And I want to be the kind of teacher that families want to talk and work with to help their children work through their problems. I do think like being super communicative helps. Even like I have some teammates who are even better about this than me, like being really communicative, and they get more back in return, you know. So uh, yeah, like you can set a good precedent by not overwhelming people. Like sometimes it's too much. Like I don't need to know all the little minutia of everything, but I think like setting a precedent that like we can communicate about important, relevant things, you get it and you get it back. I hope to be the kind of teacher that families turn to in times of crisis, looking for a little help, a little insight, a little advice. I hope to be the kind of teacher that Erin already is. And I've talked about this before, but the fact that this was in such a small town, I think really like helped with this and that she was like so well established. I'm like, not a lot of people are like coming to me for advice. Like I think I've said this before, but I do wonder if when my children are older than the children I'm teaching, if I might feel differently. Because right now, like what advice can I give? I mean, like teaching, parents will ask questions about like how to help with homework and stuff like that. But I'm like, I also have never parented a 10 or 11-year-old, maybe years down the line when my kids are at this age or beyond, then I will have a little more like credibility to speak to it, not just as a teacher, but as a mother. Like, oh yeah, like I know what it's like, although all kids are different. So, one kid, one kid, but maybe I'll have a little more credibility. But um, yeah, I think, I mean, there's still so much room to improve. I've still got a ways to go. But I feel good today, even though I got an email that said I'm not the third or second or first best teacher in this district. Um, I know a lot of people who would still say I'm a really good teacher. So I will hold that in my heart and I will print my math tests and I will try to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow before I have to leave here. Oh, I feel like I just blacked out for a second. Okay, bye. Hello. Today is Wednesday, April 9th. I forgot to change the date on the board yesterday afternoon. So for the first half of today, I said it was April 8th, but it's not. It's April 9th. And today was a good day. They did really well on their math tests. They did really well. When I was flipping through homework this morning, I was like, okay, this is looking good. But there were a couple kids, I was like, oh crap, like they're still doing it wrong. So we like went over it. I checked in with them. One of the kids who did his homework almost completely incorrectly. It was one of those things where he just like he was kind of he had like a misunderstanding of how to do it, but once we went over it again, he was like, oh, he got a 100% on his test, including the bonus sixth grade question. So I put like, like a sixth grade level question on there just for if they want to do it for fun, for like a little bonus. So I was like, okay, whew. Even my kids who struggled the most with math, we're still doing like nobody got a one. Like you can tell, like they understand the concept. They're not executing it 100% correctly, but they understand like how it's supposed to go. So that's good. Reading today, I feel like I kind of screwed around. Like, I don't know. I did not at all do what was in the plans. I just like I feel good about how it went, but um I was just like vibing my way through it. It's fine. We started like doing space research. They're really into it. I don't know, it was a good day. And then this evening we have a grown-up book fair downtown. There's gonna be like drinks and I'm going. So, a little happy hour thing. So I'm looking forward to that. We have a staff meeting in like 10, 12-ish minutes. Um, don't know what to expect at that. Never do. But overall, today was a pretty good day. And also found out today that the tax deadline has been extended for an extra like 2.5 weeks for North Carolina. So even though I have to pay all that money, I could wait until the end of April when I get my paycheck, and that would cover every all the taxes we have to pay. Okay. Let's see what was going on 12 years ago. Back when I never had to pay taxes. Just kidding. I did, but not as much as I do now. Okay. Watch three. It's April 9th. So we're on day 57. It feels like spring today. It does not here. It looks like spring. You look outside and you're like, oh, it looks so nice. And you go out there, it's actually way colder than you think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to last for long. The cold front is supposed to come in tonight. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. It was so nice to go outside for both recesses and let the kids run and play and exert some of their never-ending energy. I wish that it would stay this way because it's just so wonderful. I wish that Oklahoma would just pick a season and stick to it, preferably spring, please. Today felt kind of uneventful. Compared to last week and the week before, I am sitting a lot these days. I get to watch opening and handwriting. I get to help with journaling. It's strange. Nice, definitely, but also strange. It's only going to get stranger, I know, because in 2 weeks, I'll just be watching all of this. I only have the rest of this week and next week as far as teaching goes. It's so weird how this is all winding down so quickly. This semester feels like the longest one of my life, and yet also strangely short. It's hard to explain. I think you just have to be a part of it to know. I get the years feel like that to me too. Like, I'm like, this year feels like it's been going on forever. And actually, it also feels like it's almost done. Like today, I introduced their final project to them, and I was like, okay, this is due May 30th. Like, we'll work on it together over the next like 6 weeks. Um, and then you'll turn it in 7 weeks, I guess. But I'm like, wow, I assigned something today that's going to be due. I'm like, when this project gets turned in, then we take EOGs, you present the project, and then school's over. So I'm like, we're not that far away. It's closer than it feels. And the days are going to keep going. And I think the weeks are going to go by faster than we think, especially because the next 2 weeks after this one are both 4-day weeks because we have Friday, the 18th off for Good Friday. So that's a 4-day week. And then we have a teacher work day that following Monday. So for the kids, it's a 4-day weekend. For me, it's just a 3-day weekend. But 4-day weekends mean 2 4-day weeks. So those weeks are going to fly, hopefully. Wow, 13 days, 15 with the makeup snow days. This is insane. I honestly cannot think of anything else to write about tonight because I am so dumbfounded at how few days we have left. 15 days and we're done. 15 days and I am officially, well, okay, almost officially a college graduate. The last week of class is going to fly, I feel like. It's only 3 days and it's all wrap up and discussion about the semester. It's going to go quickly, just like these last 15 days are going to go quickly. I just know that they are. I can't believe I haven't mentioned, I guess I didn't want to mention it until I knew it for sure, but at this point, I have interviewed for what ends up being my first teaching job. And it really took them that because I did it over spring. I think I did it over spring break. I'm pretty sure I did do it over spring break, but then I didn't get the offer until around the Oklahoma City Marathon. I got it that weekend, which should be coming up soon because it's always like mid-April. Because it's April 19th. So yeah, I think within the next week, hopefully I'll say something about how I get this job offer. I probably don't want to jinx it or something. I got trained on test proctoring this morning. I'm not looking forward to it really, but on some level, I kind of am. Yeah, that checks out. I just want to see how upper level elementary teachers handle testing and how the children react to it. I know I write this like dramatic think piece about testing. I know it's coming. We'll see how much of myself I still agree with. I saw last week how my little guys handled stress and test anxiety, and I'm curious to see how it goes in the older grades. Luckily, I was told I can bring a book or something to study. I'm sure it will end up being research articles for my final presentation in graduate class, rather than just having to sit and stare at all the children for hours upon hours. Yeah, I know in some field sites they are absolutely not allowed to bring anything to read or to. Yeah, we definitely can't read during the test. Now, well, no, proctors really aren't supposed to either. I'm surprised that I don't know, in North Carolina, you definitely nobody can be reading, but I do remember that I did get to read and I was appreciative of that. But I feel like it must be A, boring for the teachers, yes, and B, stressful for the kids because every time they look up, there's a teacher that they may or may not know just staring at them because she isn't allowed to do anything else. This happened to me, was it last year? No, I think it was 2 years ago. But during state testing, one of my students raised their hand and called me over, and I leaned down and she said, "Can you tell this lady to get away from me?" Because it was just the proctor. She was like a roving proctor. She was just in the room and she was just standing at the back of the room, probably like trying not to draw attention. But the girl who sits like right at the back was like, "Who is this? And can she leave?" I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, so it is weird for the kids. I try to not like stand near one person for too long, but also if you're just like that's distracting too. So I try and like stand in the back, but not like hover. I don't know. It's annoying. Testing is all next week. What week is it? They're the second week of the April. They're doing state testing so early. And I'm getting pulled from my kindergartners to do it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure by the end of it, I'll be aching to get back into my room with my kiddos, but it will be an interesting experience for sure. And now I can officially say that I am testing trained and testing experienced. I guess that is something to brag about. Next week will tell for sure. I do remember at my first school, we did do like we got out. When did we get out of school? I had to work through the end of May, but that some of that was like in service days. So we probably went until like the third week of May. And I do remember that. I think we took our state tests at the very end of April. There were like 3 weeks after the test where I was like, this sucks because the kids kind of felt done, but we were not done. Like we had stuff to do. So I like how we do it here. Like testing has to take place over the last 10 days of school. I like that. I don't like to have too much time. How we've been doing it, I think we'll do it again, is like the window opens, so 10 days out from last day of school. We try and take a test on that very first day. Like let's just get one out of the way because it usually opens on Friday. And then we'll do two the next week, like a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Wednesday, Friday, or something. And then that leaves the entire last week. So within like the first 5 days, we try, and 5 or 6 days, we try and take most of the tests. And then that last week of school, which is like 4 days and an early release usually, we don't take tests, but that's when I like to give your final presentations. Like we have a bunch of end of the year projects that kids are like wrapping up and turning in. That's when we like do graduation stuff. So I really like it because there's not that much time between when it feels over and when it really is over. And during that time, I'm reading aloud a novel that's really fun. Like I know testing is like stressful, but the last 2 weeks of school are actually like really fun, I think, because I spend a lot of time reading aloud, which is one of my favorite things to do. And then we're just like wrapping up projects and feeling like excited. We're doing it, we're finishing stuff. So I only have like, what, 7 weeks before we get to those 2 weeks. It's going fast. It's going fast. And I guess I won't be doing this vlog. I guess I won't be doing this all the way to the end of school because I won't have anything to read because I think this is going to finish like beginning of May. I think I only have a few weeks left. I don't know. I'll have to think because this is I like this little routine. So maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I'll finish out the year anyway. I don't know. But now I got to get down to the staff meeting. I can't remember if it starts at 2:45 or 2:50. So I better be there at 2:45 just in case. Bye. Well, today's Thursday, April 10th. This week has really flown by and we got 2 4-day weeks coming next. So yay. Um, I just put up my space poster. Sorry, crooked. Kids can't keep their hands off things. But today was a good day. It was another good day, 4 in a row. Like this week, I'm really feeling it this week. It's probably, I mean, we're like introducing a lot of new stuff, so I was gonna say this week feels kind of low stakes, but no, we took the math test yesterday. Like we've done some high stakes stuff and they're still getting really into space. Tomorrow we like officially start the project today. They picked the planet they want to do, and I'm always worried that there's gonna be like, like 18 of them are all gonna do Mars or something. So I didn't put any limits, but I just said like it would be fun, if we could like spread the love and at least like have one person do every planet. And they did. We have one person on every planet at least, and the most we have on a single planet is 4. So that's good. I think that's a good number. We have a couple people who are the only ones doing what they're doing, but most of them have like at least one other person who's doing the same as them. And the I had 4 kids, like my 4 kids who need the most help, all picked the same planet. So I'm like, hallelujah. That way I can just like we can work as a group on some things, and it's like it's going to be super convenient because they're literally all going to be doing the same planets. Like this really worked out. I feel like I'm thirstier than I've ever been. Tomorrow's the last Science Olympiad practice. We have the tournament on Friday. I mean on Saturday. Cannot wait to be done with it. They're going to have fun. We're not going to win anything. It's fine. But yeah, it'll be nice to get Fridays back. Did I just get really dark all of a sudden? Okay, let's see what was going on 12 years ago on April 10th. April, day 58. Today again seemed like it went by very quickly and that I barely taught at all. Reading is my main focus right now, and it's actually kind of nice because I can put more effort into it than I did the last few weeks. I feel like I'm in the zone right now when it comes to reading, actually. Today I found out that next week I'll be proctoring tests all week. The principal came in and told Erin that both Jenny and I would be pulled to proctor, and so she'll be alone in the room. This kind of sucks because Erin had planned some really cool rotations next week, but they need to be teacher-led, so that's kind of out the window now. I've been a testing coordinator. It sucks. Like you have to pull people from their like real jobs to help. It's impossible not to. And there's no perfect way to do it. I always would try and like spread the love and try not to like, make somebody do it all week. But especially, I mean, you just like got to do what you got to do because you have to stay within legal limits and all that stuff. But I was about to say I don't miss that job, but actually it was kind of fun. Like I'm a logistics girly, but I would rather let somebody else like it was a lot to think about. There's always something you haven't thought about until you present your plan to the group and then someone's like, but what about? You're like, dang it. Okay. The principal just came up with this new rule last week that 1 day a week for the next 5 weeks is a no copy day. That means the teachers can't assign anything to the kids that involves using copied things, worksheets, flashcards, etc. This is obnoxious. Like, let me live my life, please. Most days I have something printed, but it's not like I just printed like it's a worksheet that I copied, like I made my copies for next week today. Like I got stuff for science. I've got like passages for reading about space. Like this feels like one of those things where you say it because it's like, oh, we don't use worksheets in school. I'm like, baby, I love a worksheet. Like if it's the right kind, if we're doing it right. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. I'm not sure how this is going to play out in the upper grades. I'm assuming poorly. In kindergarten, we only use copied things for rotations. And since rotations are all week, we're just going to cut out copied items for the next 5 weeks altogether. Erin really isn't that concerned, and I am not either, but I have a feeling like this is going to change up a lot of things in the older grades. Back to my point, which is that we can't do these cool teacher-led rotations next week, no teachers, and we can't do the independent worksheets that the kids do in rotations sometimes, no copies allowed. So the kids will be playing a lot of familiar games and making words out of magnetic letters. I think it will be fine, but I'm a little disappointed we can't introduce the new games to them yet. And these are like the unintended consequences of like Well, testing is kind of unavoidable, but like these ideas, ooh, and like no copies. We're so cool. We don't use worksheets here. And then it's like, okay, but that really puts like a strain on like you have to change 5 weeks worth of plans because someone wants to be like cute about copies. I don't know. And it's I don't maybe it was about saving money, like saving paper or something. But I don't know. I paper and copies is one thing I'd love to spend money on. Like that's where we should. They were like, so much of our budget is on paper. Good. Good. Get these kids off these freaking computers all the time. Like, yeah, I could have them like I could put I do a lot of stuff on Google Classroom and I'm like I could put the, news article on Google Classroom and have them read it there, but like I don't want to. They need to like hold things and highlight them. And it's not that people would say, oh, you can underline stuff online, you can highlight stuff online. It's not the same. It's not the same. They do better when stuff is printed out. That's why you better believe, like at the end of the third quarter, I sure did. We all did print out their math and science and reading tests and had them do it on paper and then put their answers in on the computer. And I guess we'll never really know because we don't ask them to take the same test twice. Like you couldn't do that. But if they, I have a lot of reason to believe that they would have done worse if they were just reading it on the computer and just answering the questions on the computer. But I digress. Another interesting development during testing week is that on Wednesday morning, I have my final supervisor operation, which means I can't be a test proctor. This means they're going to pull Aaron to proctor, and I'll be leading the classroom in the morning and possibly afternoon too. I'm kind of looking forward to doing opening again since I just said I wanted to try it again using what I've seen Aaron do now. I'm really interested to see how this school handles testing. Next week will be an interesting one for sure. I can't believe this week is halfway over. Tomorrow I do rotations for the last time, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, and then it's only reading from here on out. Wow, this is unbelievable. I really am so baffled by how close we are. Graduation in 24 days. What's 24 days from today? Oh, May 4th. That's right. I graduated on Star Wars Day. I forgot. It's because I didn't actually walk or do anything. All right. Well, I think tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow goes well, and then I'll be able to say tomorrow's a good week. Tomorrow it's gonna be crazy though, because I have Science Olympiad, and then I have to go check in for Science Olympiad, like at the high school where the tournament is. Like I have to deliver stuff and make sure we have like our pasta tower and our cars and like all that stuff ready to go. And I gotta go like drop all that stuff off and turn in all of the like signed paperwork and stuff. And my daughter also is supposed to have a softball game that might get rained out. I don't want it. I really don't want it to get rained out because everything's getting rained out. And if it did get rained out, it would make things more convenient. But I don't want it to get rained out. But if she does have the softball game, I'm probably gonna be late to it. So someone else will have to take her. My husband can take her, it's fine. But I don't know. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy. But after I can just make it through tomorrow, right? Then Science Olympiad is over. We can roll into the weekend, into a 4-day week, followed by another 4-day week. And when those 4-day weeks are over, I mean, it'll basically be the end of April. Yeah. We get a 4-day week, a 4-day week, and then we're in the last week of April, approaching May, which means 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks from tomorrow is our big field trip. So that's what I'll be in a couple weeks. That's what I'll be spending all my time thinking about. Is like, okay, making all the groups and managing the chaperones and all that stuff. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. All right. Bye. Hello. Today is Friday, April 11th. It's 2025. Whew, we just finished our last Science Olympiad practice of the year. It was chaos. I have no idea how tomorrow's going to go. I imagine not well, but I really want it to be fun for them. So even though I'm not expecting that we're going to win anything, um, I still want to make it like a fun day, you know? So hopefully we accomplish that. Today was a good day. It was crazy. It was raining most of the day. And then at recess time, it stopped raining. And like, if it's not falling from the sky, like we're going out. So we were outside. It was fine. Then it started to sprinkle a little bit. And then it started to come down a little more, sprinkles and like whatever. But then it started to come down a little stronger. So I was like, okay, we had 10 minutes left. It's like, oh, let's call him. So we blew the whistle. We started to move inside, but the kids bring their backpacks. And so we had their backpacks inside, like just inside the door. And so they were, there was sort of a log jam basically of kids trying to grab their bags and get upstairs because they were all in this big pile. And then it started to freaking pour. And so like half the kids were inside and half the kids were outside and they couldn't get inside because there were kids like trying to find their bags. So it was a little chaotic for like 45 seconds. Nobody was drenched, but it started to like come down. We got them inside and then like the heavens opened. I was like, if we had been outside, we would probably be in so much trouble for having been outside in this. Even tiny little hailstones started like falling and ricocheting on the windowsill. I was like, dang, that was close. Ooh, so I was like sweating, and then Science Olympiad had been running up and down the stairs and rolling carts to my car full of pasta towers and bottle rockets and whoa, so I'm sweating. And a bunch of my friends are at a happy hour right now. Why is the assistant principal calling me? Hold on. I'm getting a new student. Fun call to get on a Friday at 4:20. I need to find a desk and get everything set up for her. For Rick. Dang, I really thought maybe I wasn't gonna have to come in this weekend, but I'm gonna have to now. Because otherwise I'll be panicking Monday morning because I won't have um I need to like set her desk. It's more than just the desk. I also I want to make sure I've got her name on things and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I need to think about. So okay, so I'm just gonna make a calendar invite. Go to school and set up for new students. So close. So close. Yet so far. Oh, so there goes all tomorrow for the tournament. And then yeah, maybe I can just do it. I could just do it Sunday morning, like real quick, and and then I'll feel good on Monday because I was hoping to not come in this weekend because my tomorrow's gonna be shot. So I already like have everything printed and like totally ready to go. And next week's just 4-day week. So um okay, whew, I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I was saying. Okay, but I need to, yeah, by 5 o'clock, I got to get to check in for the tournament tomorrow. So I will do this quickly. All right. Oh, I was saying that all my friends are happy hour right now. They're having a happy hour and I just couldn't go. And in my heart, I was like, oh, maybe I could like go after Science Olympiad. No, what are you talking about? You're barely gonna make it. Okay. At least my daughter's softball game did get canceled tonight, so don't worry about that. Okay. Day 59, April 11th, 2013. Wow, wow, wow. Tomorrow is Friday. I am officially, as of 2 o'clock p.m. today, done leading rotations, and I am officially a reading only teacher from here until the end. I can't believe that tomorrow is day 60 of 70. Wow. Just wow. Reading went really well today. Today was the last day in our animals theme, so we talked about the different kinds of animals we know, how they're alike, different, etc. Aaron has this book on the largest and smallest and fastest and slowest animals, etc., in the world, so we read that together. Nonfiction books for younger kids are so fun because they're written in an awe-inspiring way. They include the most interesting facts and the language they use is for kids. When you get into the older grades, this is gone. It is? Oh, why am I saying that? This was actually a big topic of discussion during the staff meeting this week because the school librarian and upper elementary teachers are unsure of how to get kids reading nonfiction. I can't say I blame them. Nonfiction books can get really boring, especially if you're not particularly interested in the topic. Huh. Okay, I guess. I'm doing space right now, so they're really into that. But it seems like one of those things where like I heard the seasoned teacher say it, so I was like, yeah, nonfiction books are boring. Are they? I don't know. Depends on the kid, I guess. The interest has to be there and they're harder to comprehend. That's true. Yeah, I mean they are. It's just a different style of reading, like you're not reading for entertainment and talking about characters and theme. I don't know. They're different, they're both complex in different ways. Like determining the theme of a novel that you've just read. I'm getting to the end of my novel studies. And so that's where we're all like, everyone's going to end at the same place of like, okay, what's the theme? Super complex, super complex. So I don't know. It's just different. The love needs to be instilled in kindergarten, which is what Erin is, and I am now attempting to do here. It is, if kids enjoy reading, it does make it easier. But loving reading is not enough. Sometimes we can get into this of like, oh, we just want them to love reading. Not really. I do want them to be able to like analyze text and draw conclusions. And, like if I read a book and they love the book, but they can't really like talk in any sort of like depth about what happened in the book. I've not done my job. I have not done my job. Another thing Erin and I talked about today was writing. She went to a workshop last night and was told that in Common Core, kindergartners are supposed to be writing paragraphs. Paragraphs! That is so crazy to me. Erin and I get so excited when a child writes a full sentence because they're so proud of themselves and it is a real accomplishment for them. I feel like this says change. If I if I heard the kindergartners were just trying to write a sentence by the end of the year, not a paragraph, I would think that was kind of strange. I don't know. Erin told me that after the workshop, she felt kind of incompetent because all the other teachers were talking like their kids can totally write paragraphs, and they commended her for her honesty about how our kids can do a sentence, maybe two. So she made a change. This week, I love that. She was like vulnerable with me. I feel incompetent all the time. So, we probably never grow out of that. This week, instead of just leaving the journal prompt as at an animal I like is, she added, and why to the end. So the kids had to write at least two sentences. Yeah. Next week, she's planning to expand it further and make it a 2-day project so we can get 4 or 5 sentences about a single thought. Boom, paragraph. It's new and it'll take tons of practice before they can do it on their own, but it's a start. She gave me a lot of great resources from the workshop last night. Okay, she showed them to me and then I photocopied them, but she said I could. And I'm excited to use them one day. Lord knows where those things are. Definitely, definitely don't have them anymore. They're probably in the binders of stuff that I kept from college until finally, like a couple years ago, I was like, babe, it's okay. You can get rid of it. Writing is hard. It is so hard. That's true. One of the most interesting resources was a journal article about whether it's more important to push actual handwriting, pencil and paper, ball stick, cursive, Danielian, whatever, or digital handwriting, typing. Definitely actual handwriting. There are pros to each, there are cons for both. There's just so much to teach these days. I can't even begin to know where to start. I read the whole article and it mostly focused on a balance of the two and the connection between them. This may sound crazy, but the fact that a lot of teachers are stressing out about how to fit core into their curriculum and make it work is actually making me more excited about it. Common Core was new. When I was finishing college, I was like maybe a junior or a senior when it sort of like dropped and people were like really starting to, well, no, I guess I was a sophomore, but it was relatively new. And so it was all a buzz when I was like, junior and senior year, you're like really talking about like I was done with all of my, what do you call it, general ed things. I'm thankful I'm coming into teaching right at the introduction of these new standards. Yes, because I don't have to change something I've been doing for years. I can start off with it and work on improving it rather than trying to squeeze it into something I already know. Yes, we are lucky to get into teaching right now as the changes are occurring. The timing was just right for us, I guess. I have no problems with Common Core. North Carolina took Common Core and basically just like made everything a little easier. So it's whatever. Um, it's reading especially is way too much. Not the standards, but then there's all the little like foundational skills and that is like so much, but I don't know how I don't think it is possible to like succinctly summarize all of the things that you have to do to like be a good reader and writer. It's just like, of course, there's a billion things. But yeah, I'm fine. No big issues with it. All right. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Okay, I'll go. I guess on Monday I'll talk about how my new student is. There we go. Oh, today is Monday, April 14th. Science Olympiad was on Friday. We it was on Saturday. We medaled in five of the events that we did. So that was really exciting because we did, how many events did we do? Perhaps eight or not? Maybe about 10, maybe about nine or 10. Um, and we medaled in five of them. So that was great. The kids were frustrated because the schools that all five of the schools that won like the biggest trophies, none of them were from our public school system. There were two that were like homeschool co-ops, and the other three were charter or private schools from different counties. So that was kind of a bummer. And the kids were really frustrated. They were like, why are they allowed to come to our tournament? And I was like, I can't really get into the like politics of all this, but I understood their frustration. So I'm waiting for the scores to be posted just so I can see how we squared up to the other public schools. Because I would say probably about half of the teams there were from our public school system, and I'm just curious to see um, eh, how it would have been different, had we only been going against kind of people on the same playing ground as us. Um, but yeah, but it was fun. The kids had fun, and I mean, last year we got zero medals, so I was like over the moon. Today was a good day. The kids were a little. I had to do a little bit of like refocusing, lots of like talking while I'm talking. Like, get it together. This is not summer yet, though it feels like summer's freaking 85 degrees outside right now. Let's see what was going on 12 years ago. It is day 60, so I need to go to the next page. All right, day 60, April 12th, 2013. 12 weeks down, two to go. We are 12/14ths finish. We are 6/7ths finished. I wish I knew what 6/7 was as a percentage right off the top of my head because it seems like it is a really high percentage. You might be thinking, Megan, you are clearly sitting at a computer. Computers have calculators. Just figure it out really quickly. And to that I say, excuse you, I do not think you realize how tired I am right now. Don't tell me what to do. And now you're mad because I yelled at you. And now we aren't talking and you never read this blog again. And I feel bad because I'm just tired and I didn't want to pull up the calculator and it's not your fault, so I'm sorry. I was a little Fruit Loopy today. Today was another great day. Same. I had Aaron do my last evaluation because I need it done by the end of next week, and we're not entirely sure how often we are going to be in the same room next week. I got the testing schedule, and I'm only on there twice, Tuesday morning and Thursday morning. I'm proctoring a fourth grade test both days. I hope it goes well. I'm mostly worried for the kids themselves. Aaron's daughter is a fourth grader, and she was telling me today how nervous she is and how she hates taking tests. I know it must be hard, so much pressure at 8, 9, 10 years old. It's finally starting to hit me that we only have 2 weeks left. I'm getting back into the thought process of I am never going to see these people again, including my fellow student teachers. It's getting me sad again. I'm going to need to take lots of pictures over the next few weeks. This week, I really feel like I've connected with the kids more. I'm not so stressed out about classroom management this week, so I'm actually doing better with it. Funny how that works, isn't it? I have a lot of homework to do this weekend. I want to get a lot done so I don't have to worry about it anymore. I have two projects and two papers to write. Very doable. I've done more in a weekend for sure. I can't believe the semester is winding down. It dragged for so long and now it's flying. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's over. I'm taking a Maymester statistics class and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from about 11:30 to 4 for 3 weeks. Oh, Maymester. I forgot about Maymester. I took a couple Maymester classes. That was like, yeah, it was the last 3 weeks of May because the first week is like finals week and graduation, and then you take my master because this was for my graduate degree. I had to do like I ended up taking two statistics classes, so this must have been the first one. It wasn't a prerequisite. Was it a prerequisite? I can't remember if it was a bachelor's level or master's level, but I do remember cramming it in for, whatever, 5 or so hours a day for three weeks in a row. It sounds like a lot, but that's not even close to how much I'm in the field now. I'm really going to be so bored when I'm not at school anymore, I think. I'm just so used to getting up early, going to school, going to work, doing homework. I'm not used to free time. What am I going to do with it? I'm sure I'll enjoy it. It'll just be weird. All right, I caved. It's 86%. Can we be friends again? Well, I wasn't not busy for long because I guess it hasn't happened yet, right? Because it should happen at the end, in a few days from now. But I get a job that starts August for, and what am I talking about free time? I'm doing Maymester, so that's going to take me all the way to June. Then I'll have 1 month, and then I get married. And then after I get married, I have like a couple weeks, and then I start my job August 1st. I guess I don't know that yet that I'm starting August 1st, but I have to assume. Like, I know I'm going to be working in the fall. So I didn't really have much free time because even that whole month of June, I still worked the summer program at my job. So I wasn't free. I still didn't really have any free time, but I get freer, I guess, than what I was doing, which was essentially a full-time unpaid internship. So, well, let's see. This is a 4-day week, so I only have to make it through Thursday. We don't have school Friday, and then Monday's a teacher work day. So, yay. Um, I was supposed to get a new student. I think I said this on Friday. So I came in yesterday, Sunday, to like make sure I got her desk up and everything. And she didn't come today. They said they think she's coming tomorrow, but I'm like, okay, so I guess I could have done all that today after school, but it's okay. Now it's today after school, and I don't have to do that because it's already done. So that, I guess, good for me. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was a good day. We're rolling through our research projects. They're staying pretty engaged because I know it's new, and so I'm hoping to keep that up as we roll through the last, I think it's honestly, it's only like 8 more weeks or something, which is not that much. Let's see. There's 40 weeks in total. There's 8 weeks left. I don't need a calculator for this one, I guess. Man, there's still 20% of the year left. Seems like less than that, but no, still 20%. I'm 80% done. So I'm not quite as done as I was uh this time 12 years ago, but that's okay because I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling good. These next 8 weeks feel very doable. I know it's just gonna ramp up. Like, catch me on here in like a week from now, being like all freaked out because there's so much happening. But for right now, I feel good. I feel good, so I'm gonna ride that. Bye.